Rig for the Texas Special Trail Gun. We're going to start off with the belt. This is Cabela's black powder belt. They sell it in their stores and online for about $29. It's a one-size-fits-all belt. You can see holes punched all the way around here. There's about 15 or 16 holes in this belt. It is a thick leather belt. It's 1.75 inches wide, and you can see it has some detail on it. It has this nice buckle that's held on with two heavy-duty snaps here, so you can change the buckle if you'd like. They sell these in brown and black. I originally bought it in brown, changed my mind, so I dyed it black. I think these belts are made for Cabela's by Triple K, and they sell their products under their own brand name. You can find those online. Also, you can find a similar belt from an outfit called Oklahoma Leather Products. It might be a little cheaper than this belt, has a little thinner leather. So you might want to check those out. But they're out there online from the resellers. Just your basic black powder belt. The knife is a Pakistani bone handle knife sold by an outfit called Szco, S-Z-C-O. And I found it on Amazon for 17 bucks, both the knife and the sheath. I don't know if it's strictly 19th century. It has the look to me. It's got this heavy-duty bone handle on it, a brass or brass-like guard. And, of course, the blade, you can see it's stainless. Vintage knives, I understand, were carbon steel. But it's an attractive knife. It's heavy. It's got a fairly decent edge on it, so it would definitely be useful for opening boxes or other projects, not just another pretty face. The sheath, it's a decent sheath. I've seen some of these Pakistani knives sold to have really cheap, flimsy sheaths, but this one was pretty substantial. It was originally brown, and you can see here there was an embossed logo, pretty heavily or deeply embossed, that I obscured with some sandpaper. Enough to take most of the logo off and still leave some leather. And then I dyed it black and finished it off when it dried with acrylic resin to protect the leather and give it a shine. But for 17 bucks, I think it's a pretty good deal. There you go. Now, if you're looking for something that's actually period, you might want to look up the Russell Green River knives. They're pretty cheap. You can find them for $20 or $25, and they are carbon steel. Now for the bullet pouch, this is a percussion cap pouch that's been repurposed for holding metallic cartridges. And the thinking is that once you've converted from percussion or cap and ball, you get rid of the powder flask, maybe a larger bullet pouch, but you still need something to hold your metallic cartridges in. And so here's where a percussion cap pouch would come in. And I found this one on eBay from an outfit called Man the Line for 15 bucks. And it's pretty well made. You can see the back here. Just open it up. Here it has a double flap. Now originally it had a wool piece glued in here with a long fiber wool material to help hold the little percussion caps in. Of course I took that out. And this will hold about 20-38 short Colt cartridges. Now for the holster, I used a pattern from the Tandy Percussion Pistol Pattern Pack. It's a nice pack of holster patterns for the various makes, models, and barrel lengths of percussion-era revolvers. This particular one is for revolvers with up to a 5.5-inch long barrel. What I liked about this pattern was the pouch portion reminds me of the California or Slim Jim style holsters. But of course, instead of a loop like those holsters, this one has the full skirt, which I kind of like. And then this band. Let me show you how the band is attached. It goes through two slots in the holster skirt. And this is made out of 7 to 9 ounce leather, so it's pretty thick. It's been wet molded. You can see here the brass extractor bulge, and then kind of bent that over. So reholstering the gun might make it a little easier. And this is a full trigger guard model. The pattern pack also includes a variation of this holster, which is the open trigger guard model, kind of the open trigger guard like you see in a lot of the 50s TV Western holsters. Now there's a couple of variations in both this and the open trigger guard pattern. The first one is the band instead of this buckle band. And I apologize, we're losing the light here, but I think you can see that. Instead of the buckle band, you can use a flat band that's cut out of one piece of leather that's dog bone shaped, and at the ends of the dog bones there's 4 holes, and then you stitch them together with leather lace. And that may give it a more period look to this holster, and also that band may sit a little more flush on the holster. This kind of bulges out a little bit here. And then the other variation on these is, instead of the full skirt, if you want to just do a loop, it kind of comes down to here like this, and then this band would be, or the other dog bone shaped band would be riveted from the other side. And then what you would have if you went for the that variation was you would have a holster that kind of looked like a California or Slim Jim pattern with a buckle on it, since you would not have the full skirt. This hammer thong here wasn't actually on this pattern. It's on the open trigger guard one. I believe they call that cutaway pattern, but I decided to put it on here anyway. And so there's the holster. I almost forgot to mention, I don't know if you can see it in this light. Apologize, we're losing the light. But there's a slight bump here from where the front sight on the Navy, that little brass sight, kind of poked out. If your Navy has a blade sight on it, and I know some folks get those replaced with a blade sight, it probably isn't going to fit on the end of this because it's kind of snug here. But there is, I think, a solution. When you cut the leather in this holster, instead of going down like this, if you go straight out and then curve all the way at the bottom and stitch it the same distance to about here, that'll give the end of this pouch a little more room, and your blade sight should fit.